Just kidding. All right, Vonkie's off. First chest, just some arrows. Vonkie frozen in time because he tried to cheat and get a head start. That's the karma gods calling him out. No, that's us getting the runner synced up. As you can see, the timers now are 25, 26, 27. That's Fieseltech hard at work. Swords for both players. All right, here we go into the escape proper. With the swords, they're able to actually start fighting things and killing things and playing the game. Heart container in the first chest. When you've only got 3 hearts, some extra ones, 33% upgrade. Not bad. They're going to be using their fancy new swords to take out some of these enemies because they're looking for bombs. There is an explodable wall at the end of this escape sequence that is rather hard to backtrack to. You need a couple... you need the gloves, basically. So you want to get those on your first pass if you can. It's pretty important. Normally, none of these enemies drop bombs, but as you can see, clearly, they just did. So, what's happening here is the randomizer also randomizes the prize packs. And prize packs are what determines what each group of enemies in the game can drop. Bottle in the opening chest. Normally, you're not too excited to see a bottle. But this early on in the game, it's actually quite important because in Kakariko Village, there is a sick kid who will give you an item only if you have a bottle. And if possible, you want to get that done on your first trip through there. So having a bottle in one of the very few chests available before Kakariko Village, actually a pretty nice find. CodeLizard's sitting on a mountain of bombs. Vonkie still none. Vonkie was going for that spin on the guards. Both players struggling a little bit there. Hard-earned 20 rupees. Thankfully, that heart container they got is going to go a long ways towards making this escape a little less hectic. Mini boss coming up, ball and chain guard. We'll see how the runners approach. CodeLizard's got a pot. Vonkie too. Pulls out the bomb. He's got so many bombs, he's just going to bomb him. Nice. Vonkie going back for a second pot. That's going to finish him. And CodeLizard has a bit of a lead. Bomb expansion. Vonkie as well getting a bomb drop. Vonkie's only got 1 though. CodeLizard's got 8. That's more than enough for the first couple of walls you need to blow up. I did not know a bomb expansion gives you a bomb. That is really cool. I thought the guard dropped one or something. But no, he drops the key. But yes, you do need more than just 1 bomb. This 1 bomb is very important for the escape, but if possible, you want a couple more to get started in Kakariko. CodeLizard not going to fight any more enemies, got all the bombs he needs. What's Vonkie going to do? Also not fighting enemies, happy with his 1 bomb. Doesn't want to waste time hunting for more. Not on these guys anyway. There are enemies that are easier to kill and are more plentiful later on in the sewer section. So maybe he'll go hunting for more bombs there. CodeLizard out to a bit of an early lead. this is an incredibly small lead in terms of randomizer. Randomizer can be decided by, a half hour. So a couple seconds is nothing, but it gives you an idea of just kind of how the race is going for these two players so far. And CodeLizard, mostly due to a better ball and chain guard fight, has got out to a bit of a lead. Key rat for CodeLizard plays nice and stays in place. Oh, he taunts Vonkie by heading down and then immediately darts back up. Here's this bombable wall that we want to bust open so much because of these 3 chests. Is it worth it? Not really, but no way to know that. Such is the nature of the randomizer. CodeLizard's so rich on bombs, he's going to go ahead and blow up the top wall just to save a tiny bit of backtracking. Including the detour to get the extra chests, a 6:15 or so escape for CodeLizard. Since he found the map, he knows he wants to open that chest, but it's only 20 rupees. But then again, when you've only got 20 rupees, not too bad to find. There are some things you want to buy in Kakariko. Bombs if you need them. The bottle vendor as well will require some money. And it's never too early to start saving for Zora, who requires a whopping 500. CodeLizard heading up to Lumberjack item. Gonna pull on this tree. What's he get? Hearts. One of the worst things he can get at this point. There's different tiers of items available based off of how many enemies you've killed since any given point, and how many hits you've taken. They've both taken at least 4 enemies, so that's probably tier 2 there that has hearts. That's randomized because this is a randomizer. There's tier 1, full magic. Good information for Vonkie. Magic's not going to do too much for him right now, but good to know. He's going for more. What is he doing, you crazy man? He's hooked on that juice. All right, CodeLizard's heading into Lost Woods, getting at the mushroom item. It's nothing. Vonkie also about to scout out the lumberjack item. Sees these bombs. Not going to be too worried about it. CodeLizard drops down in Lost Woods, picks up an arrow expansion. Also not great. And now we get into the juicy stuff. CodeLizard, first one to reach Kakariko. He's got the bombs he needs, whereas Vonkie does not. So if Vonkie doesn't find bombs in these 4 chests here in Blind's cache, he's not going to be able to blow up that wall, and that's going to be annoying. He doesn't want to come back if he doesn't have to. CodeLizard, here we go. Moon Pearl, hell of a first item to find. 300 rupees, pretty good. A nether bottle. So he's got some of that blue goo, Moon Pearl, and a bunch of money. And did he not check the chest behind the bombable wall? I moved to the tracker to click off those items. Oh, I caught Eastern is pendant 6, and I think Desert's also a pendant. Or crystals. These are crystals, I'm saying here. Vonkie has to detour to buy bombs. He did miss it. I thought so. Very surprising. Well, I mean, you place that bomb and then you just kind of... You worry about those other chests and you find something like the Moon Pearl and you turn to your tracker. Power Gloves, by the way, waiting in the well. Vonkie bought his bombs and just ghosted out of Kakariko. He's off to go see Sasmasasa. And this is I don't know. I don't like this play, but I'm pretty amateur at the end of the day. Inexperienced, perhaps, is the right word. What's he going to get here? Butter Sword and Mirror Shield. Totally kitted out. Arms-wise, not tunic-wise. Sick kid. It's got a hammer. What are you doing with that hammer? Is Vonkie gonna save and quit after his trip to Eastern? CodeLizard's gonna get that big shield, but probably not gonna hold on to it for all that long, if he decides to head to Eastern Palace. There we get another map. It's Green Pendant up on Tower of Hera. Good to know. Whoops, is Pendant is the one to click there. CodeLizard checking the race item, or the library item. Quake sitting on the shelf, so now he knows boots are going to earn him Quake. Rather ambiguous whether or not it's needed, but chances pretty good. Chances are pretty good. Vonkie's going to blow open that wall. Let's hope he actually checks it. CodeLizard spots the heart container as the race item and is not interested. Blue goo and a moon pearl for Vonkie. Heading into the blown-up passage. What did CodeLizard miss out on? The flippers! Are you kidding me? He missed out on the flippers, and he's going to have no idea unless he is already aware of this oversight. But this could be like the race. It could have just been decided right there. Because CodeLizard is just never going to go back to this place in Kakariko that you check at the beginning, and of course everyone always checks it. No one never misses it. There's no way he's going to go back there. This is awful. This is completely awful for CodeLizard. We'll see if he can sniff this out. I mean, sometimes you have a feeling in the back of your mind that did I really not? No, I must have. And it can cause you to. It can lead you to things like these flippers. If you must know, commentators are volunteers. And they all have their own availability. So, you got me. Too bad. Moving on. CodeLizard. Down to 2 hearts on Death Mountain, but he's past the scary stuff. Gonna be checking in here on Spectacle Rock. Another blue potion. He certainly doesn't need the bottle, but potions are pretty alright. Doesn't want to waste the time to go get it, though. It's very respectable. Vonkie's picked up the hammer in Kakariko. Big shield, but not anything meaningful to him. He's already got the that mirror shield. Would probably prefer a regular old mirror at this point. And I'm just realizing they have gloves, hammer, and moon pearl. This is already opening up some Dark World options for them. Vonkie checking out the library item, also now aware of Quake. CodeLizard heading to the dam. Finding some bombs. Vonkie, one of those players who decides to go through the house and not around to see what item is available for completing the race. So he's going to pick it up. Probably. If you're going to go that far, just go the couple extra steps to grab that heart container. Sure enough, he does. CodeLizard drains the swamp. What does he find? Just some arrows. Not interested. Be heading on to Moldorm Cave. 5 items here. You might get ahead of yourself and say, let's go to the Dark World. I can hammer those pegs. I can pick up the rock. But you don't want to miss these 5 items here in Moldorm Cave. That's what Vonkie's thinking. He's on his way there. Based off of his pathing, I thought maybe he was going to skip the dam, but it looks like he is cycling back over to the left side. CodeLizard trying to track down these mini Moldorms. Does so. He does not have this butter sword that Vonkie's over at Sasparilla's house. Mini Moldorm Cave has got nothing but rupees and hearts so far. And that's going to remain the same. Nothing good. Where's CodeLizard off to now? Got a couple options. Ice Rod Cave, Fake Flippers to check the item on the Hylia Island, as well as Hobo. I highly predict one of these two things. Going to Ice Rod. Vonkie does want those arrows. He had 0. Figured 10 is a better number than 0. CodeLizard down to half a heart. Gotta play it safe with these crabs. They do so much damage and they move rather unpredictably. Wow, this crab is doing everything he can to get CodeLizard, but he finally does snipe him, sends him inside the cave and blows it open, retreating to safety. Now, he does not have flippers. He could have them, but he doesn't. Nothing in the ice cave. Though he is going to refill his health. That is actually really big. Because now if he wants to run down and do fake flippers, he doesn't have to worry about getting one-shot by a crab. Vonkie is going to be disappointed by the items here in Mini Moldorm Cave. And CodeLizard, of course, gets out without any damage whatsoever. Still, if he was down to half heart, probably would have just saved and quit right there. So maybe the heart did do him some good after all. Activating the fake flippers glitch by scrolling the frame after you land in the water. Gonna go ahead and drift on by the island, spot some bombs, doesn't care. Vonkie's heading up to the Ice Rod Cave himself. He's down to 3 hearts. And Butter Sword doesn't help you so much when you get 2 shot by crabs. They're closing in on him. Finding the angles. Oh, there it is. See, these guys are deadly. They are unpredictable, and their hitboxes are pretty darn big. So that's a death for Vonkie on the way to Ice Rod Cave. He probably doesn't want to backtrack all the way over there, so we'll see where he's going to go next. Hobo, 20 rupees. No thank you, sir. So CodeLizard's clearly checked more places than Vonkie. But there's one very important place that he thinks he has checked that he has not, and Vonkie has. And that's that bombable wall in Blind's hut in Kakariko Village that has the flippers. So CodeLizard's off to Sanctuary. Power Glove and Hammer can get him some places on Death Mountain, which I'm pretty sure he has already been to, yes. Vonkie, however, heading to the Dark World to open up the Hype Cave. This is what Moon Pearl, Gloves, and Hammer will get you, an extremely early Hype Cave at the 18-minute mark. Oh, and just look how hype it is. I'm so hyped. I'm hype as hell with that single arrow at the end. Wow. Whew. I gotta calm down and collect myself after that. My goodness. How excited must you be to have that? Okay, wait, here we go. We got a map. All I saw was Pod was the other pendant. The others are all crystals. And I did not see which crystals are which. You guys in chat can call that out. CodeLizard has also made his way to the Dark World. I see 7 and 5. I see 5. 5 is Meyer. So there, we got all our map items. We didn't miss it. Vonkie has traversed his way over to the pyramid item. Whereas CodeLizard has made his way to Village of Outcasts. Pyramid. Gonna let Vonkie down. CodeLizard getting a ton of rupees in the treasure chest minigame. Gonna keep exploring the area. Vonkie heading up to what I assume is Catfish. No mirror, so he can't make a nice trip up to Zora as well. CodeLizard finds the cape in the Village of Outcasts. 8 crystals. Uh-oh. You're right. Thanks for keeping me honest, guys. Vonkie dies trying to get to the ladder on his way to Catfish. And CodeLizard picks up something that I missed. Let me try to see if I can catch it on the delayed restream. I can. 1.5 hearts, by the way. Just a red rupee. 1.5 hearts he had. Octorok just dead. So that's a big setback for Vonkie. He spent a lot of time boots on the ground walking over to Catfish and got nothing for it. CodeLizard heading into Thieves Town with the fighter sword. Green tunic, 6 hearts, down to 1.5. This is a slog for both players. Vonkie went to Eastern Palace. He got that gold sword. That's going to do a lot of work for him. But before he goes to work, he's going to try to find some slim, rather easy pickings. With the Stump Kid, gets the free item. What is it? 20 rupees. CodeLizard down to half a heart in Thieves Town. No powder. Cutting it really close to that fireball. There's a ton of bunny beams in here that you can turn into fairies if you have powder, but he does not. He has very few safeties at all, really. Could pull out that cape if he really wants to. Checking the 4th item. Nothing that he's really looking for. Trying to hammer something. I'm not sure what. But it didn't work out for him. And I don't quite think it was intentional, but it is possible. Vonkie's heading to the digging game, trying to pick up another freebie. And this one, I think, is going to serve him well. For a player who has died twice and lost a fair amount of progress, like almost as much progress as you can lose traversing the overworld, he's going to be really happy to see that blue tunic, especially this low on hearts. It's a good call on Vonkie's part to track down those overworld locations in this situation. CodeLizard's going to places in Thieves Town that I didn't even really know were a thing. He's turned into a bunny. But I like it. It's a safer route, to be sure. Vonkie's also going to head to Hobo. He's going to get 20 rupees and not be too happy about it. A key and a heart for CodeLizard. Stelfo's coming up to play. Is going to put him down with the pot and move on. Aghanim required? Nah. The Lumberjack item was just some bombs. And with Moon Pearl hammer and gloves, they're already pretty set to traverse the Dark World. CodeLizard struggling a little bit with the Hellway. Ideally, you want to dash through this whole thing with boots, but they ain't got none. Does a really good job of navigating that treacherous path. Bootless. Vonkie's going to head up to Zora, swimming into the whirlpool. He must have reactivated... No, he has flippers. He doesn't need to do fake flippers. CodeLizard down to 2 hearts. These little grasshopper guys hit really hard. Yeah, he doesn't want to mess with them. He's going to camp out in the doorway and take them out. Poking with the fighter sword. Just, please. These guys so tough. Oh, he's going to... Okay. Cutting it a little close there, but he does get him down. Going to go pick up some more bombs. Probably hoping those were hearts. Going to get a piece of heart. Not going to refill him. But gets him a little closer. Zora. 500 rupees. Gets you something. What is it? Let's find out. Hookshot. Hello. Zora. Highly profitable. I missed the ledge item. Rather, not desert ledge item. Zora ledge item. But Vonkie just pieced out of there, so it couldn't have been a required item. Where's he going to go now? Hookshot opens up a ton of options on Death Mountain. Doesn't have the Titan's Mitt, so he can't do like a full clear up there of Dark Death Mountain as well. But there's a lot of items that Hookshot opens up access to, and he wants them, so he's going up there. This is also his first trip up Death Mountain, so he's going to find... what is he going to find? Maybe a blue potion if he wants it, but I think that's it. CodeLizard has picked up Blind. Putting that hammer to use. Hammer does tempered sword damage, by the way. 4 times more damage than the fighter sword. It's a little awkward to use, but is a pretty good choice in a lot of combat situations when you've only got the fighter sword. Vonkie safely delivering the old man. Down to 3.5 hearts. Now 2.5. Thanks, Cabbage, for that undodgeable shot. Is going to go in and refill his hearts with a smooch from the old man. I like that smart play. CodeLizard, Blind in tow. Gonna head up into this boss fight. Pulling out the cape. Nope, bottle. Nope, cape, bottle, cape. Cape equipped. I think this is smart. One of the wonderful things about Blind is blinds are wonderful things. No, he goes down in 3 hits each phase, regardless of what you hit him with, including this weak little butter knife fighter sword. So all it takes is 9 hits to take him out. And with the cape, even without half magic, it's going to be plenty of time to track Blind down and get these hits he needs. So there's the final hit. Letting him get away for quite a bit there. But does finally track him down at the end. I didn't see what item he got, and I was pretty sure I was looking. Either way, gonna get himself a crystal. Plus 10 arrows. Thanks, guys. Alright, Vonkie, opening up tons of items here. What's it gonna be? These guys have been rather deprived of items so far in this seed. They've got to be somewhere. How about Death Mountain? How about that? Vonkie finds the Titan's Mitts. Titan's Mitts combined with Moon Pearl and Hookshot means Dark Death Mountain. He's going to be checking a lot of things here. The world is open to him, along with the world of literacy and the world of archery. Nope, not boots. Book. As well as the world of bug catching. CodeLizard going digging. Blue Tunic. Probably going to be pretty happy to see that, especially after some of his close calls. Vonkie heading further into Death Mountain. While CodeLizard opts to explore some of these dark world, overworld locations that Vonkie prioritized as soon as he had access. This one's not gonna pay off too good for CodeLizard. Vonkie does not have boots, so he has to make this awful, awful trek through Spiral Cave. He does finally make it. CodeLizard's going to open up the Hype Cave. He's been looking for some items for a while. Powder for Vonkie. He's thinking, I was off to a pretty good start, but all of a sudden all these items have dried up. They've got to be waiting for me in Hype Cave. He's going to find out that is not the case. Vonkie, Light World, Death Mountain on the east side, cleared out. So we're heading into the Dark World. Titan's going to open up that 8-ball rock. CodeLizard consulting the map. I can see clearly the blue pendant on the Ice Palace, confirming with my own eyes. Heading into the Dark World, pulls the hookshot out. Going to push this block, and then nope. Opportunity there to do a little hookshot clip. But the timing's a little tight, so Vonkie's not going to opt to do that. Only saves a minor amount of time anyway. Going to drop down. CodeLizard's going to check pyramid item. We already know, I think it's just 20 rupees. Not going to be too exciting, but Vonkie died on his way to Catfish afterwards, so if CodeLizard decides to go that way, we could see something new, and we could see something important. Like half magic. Actually, not really all that important, but very, very helpful. One of the best safeties you can find. Vonkie also probably going to be heading to Hookshot Cave, and I don't think he found the cape. That was in Village of Outcasts, I believe. Gonna check Turtle Rock. Bombos required. Good to know. Knowledge is power, and Vonkie has that knowledge. CodeLizard is heading up to Catfish. And with his blue mail, I highly predict he will survive the trip. Vonkie finds a lantern here in Hookshot Cave. 3 more chests to check. What's it gonna be? Cane of Burna. So he doesn't have the cape, but now he's got the cane. That's gonna open up the opportunity to check. Oh, nope, he's out. Not interested in checking Spike Cave. And I presume he got a peek at the island on Lake Hylia. And, not Lake Hylia. On Death Mountain. Because he went over that way. I missed it, but he probably didn't. And he doesn't want it. Whatever it was. So he's out. Went to Death Mountain, said, nope, just kidding, I'm out again. CodeLizard also out. Catfish didn't pay off. Couple of options available. No boots, so perhaps he doesn't want to head to Desert Palace, but he's got the bow now. So Eastern Palace seems like a pretty good bet. CodeLizard heading to at least Sasumasasa's house. And he's going to find some very... well, one really good item and one meh item in that mirror shield. But you don't turn your nose up at butter. So there he goes. He's going to find that. He's not going to find a bow, which is what he would really like to see in the situation, because he would like to go knock out Eastern Palace while he's here. But without the bow, that's not possible. Cannot finish it. You can check all of the items, though, except for the boss drop. And it looks like he feels like he is kind of running out of options at this point. So he is going to head into Eastern Palace. He doesn't know it, but he's right behind Vonkie. Big difference, though. Vonkie has the bow. He is going to be able to clear out this dungeon. Basically, every moment that... well, what was it? What was the item that started it all? Zora Hookshot, I guess, was the thing. Every moment, CodeLizard does not head up to King Zora, the further he falls behind. He's going to be looking in places everywhere he checks that is not the hookshot is going to be less efficient than if he had gone to hookshot earlier. So he is bleeding seconds this whole time. He doesn't know it. How could he? But we do. If he had flippers, he might be a lot more willing to head up to see Zora. But he doesn't have those. So he's a little less willing to head up that way, perhaps. Maybe that's what influenced Vonkie's decision to go up there. You can also see the hookshot. Here's another example. Hookshot, Vonkie was able to go straight across to that chest and pick it up. CodeLizard had to go all the way around. There goes 30 seconds, just because you don't have these items that Vonkie does. Vonkie not quite getting the Stalfos despawn there. We'll see if CodeLizard can do it. By moving in such a way, you cause these skeletons to spawn either in a wall or in a pot. Not quite getting it either is CodeLizard. Both of them despawn the top one. But it's possible to despawn 2 and kill the other 2 with pots. It's a pretty nifty looking strat. Big chest is coming up empty for both players. They have not found the map yet. Vonkie's going to chance it here. I believe there's 2 more items left in this dungeon. CodeLizard's going for 1. The other is Armos. 50-50 whether it's a useful, well, not useful, but non-dungeon item or the map. CodeLizard doesn't like the 50-50. Well, no, this is dumb. He doesn't have the bow. He can't take out Armos, so this is his only option here. Vonkie could have gone and checked that item as well, but he's going to go for the boss first. So, if this item turns out to be something good, this could be something to get CodeLizard back in this race. Vonkie focusing down one Igor rather than try to take out both. CodeLizard comes up empty with the map. That means Armos is holding an item. He does not have the bow to get that item. Falling further and further behind. Vonkie does have the bow. He's going to head into this Armos fight. He's going to be rewarded for his gamble of not checking that other chest and going straight to the boss. And a fantastic boss fight. Rewarded with the mushroom. An enigmatic fungi. Unsure what it could lead to. Could be nothing. Could be everything. Suppose we'll find out eventually, but for now it's in Vonkie's possession. CodeLizard going to be moving on to Desert. He does not have the lantern, so he's not going to be able to do certain things in this dungeon that Vonkie can, should Vonkie head that way. This is really bad. He does have Mirror Shield, doesn't he? I got all excited about the Butter Sword and I forgot to add the Mirror Shield. Mostly because it sucks. I mean, Red Shield is pretty good. Mirror Shield doesn't really do much more than the Red Shield does. Mimics, basically. It lets you fight mimics a little easier. Makes Turtle Rock a little easier. Agina and his cave coming up empty. Vonkie's gonna go cash in on this mushroom. CodeLizard did not check King Zora. Though you could say it's because he didn't check the item in Kakariko. In Blind's hut, he bombed the wall and did not go in and look at the item. He just kind of forgot. And in there was the flippers. And because he doesn't have the flippers, he doesn't really want to go see King Zora, right? He wants to have the flippers so he can do the 2 for 1 trip there. So that's prevented him from going to see Zora. Mirror on Desert Ledge. Thank you so much, guys. Vonkie does have the book. He's going to be able to get in there. CodeLizard locked out. So, King Zora has the hookshot. Hookshot opens up Death Mountain. Death Mountain has all these other items that Vonkie has. The book in the Cane of Berna, the lantern. So one incredibly minor, silly mistake is costing CodeLizard a mountain of time. The entire race, it seems. Such is the deadly nature of the randomizer. Vonkie is on his way to Desert. He's going to be pretty happy to see that mirror. But until then, he's going to go check Agina's cave. And CodeLizard probably feels like he's running out of options here. He's doing loops around Kakariko and Village of Outcasts because he does not have the Titan's Mitts. He's going to go check some of the North Dark World areas here. Bumper Cave. Doesn't have the mirror or boots. So I think this is pretty much just Bumper Cave that he can check here. Just some rupees. Where's he going next? Blue Mail's going to keep him alive for one more hit, but those enemies hurt a lot. You really don't want to screw around with them. So he does get himself out of that sticky situation. Vonkie's opened up Desert Palace with the book, heading on in. I don't know if he's seen the mirror yet or not. I was too curious about what Bumper Cave might hold. CodeLizard, I'm pretty sure I saw him check Catfish, so I'm not quite sure where he's going here. And I'm not 100% sure that he knows either. Opening up the map, trying to figure out what is going on, perhaps. Vonkie here in Desert Palace. Big key, gonna let him keep progressing. What matters here is what is on this torch item. Is he gonna peek in and check? No, he's not. But if it is a required item up on that torch, he's not going to be able to complete this palace. You need the boots to bonk into it and knock it down. He does not have that. Gets a small key that's going to let him explore the right side. Red rupee. Torch was a red rupee. He did check. It must have been the first thing he did then. So that's one of two possible items, I believe, in Desert Palace. And he does know he's going to be able to complete it now. This is big. Desert Palace is a crystal. Not going to have to make a second trip here. Shovel, the other item, waiting here in the desert. Nothing left but to just finish this thing out. I think he probably could have known that was going to be a useless item. Yeah, so here's the thing. He bombed the wall and then walked away. So even if he goes back there, he's going to see the wall cracked. And that might tell him, like, oh, I guess I checked there. So it's bad. It's a really bad situation for CodeLizard. This is a really silly mistake that you don't expect to make, and therefore is incredibly hard to track down after you've made it. Vonkie heading out to pick up his mirror. Once he finds the flute, that'll help a lot in this area, checking some things out. Particularly this, basically just the northeast cave, I guess, now that I think about it. CodeLizard heading into Palace of Darkness. No lantern, no bow. Depending on how the keys are placed here, will determine how he can progress through this dungeon. I confess I don't know the particulars very much, but that is not a small key, so I'm pretty sure that's bad. I feel like in that situation you might need the bow to go to the right side. Fire rod or lamp, yes. Any source of fire will let you light these torches that Vonkie is coming up right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the square dance. Whether I'm right or wrong, CodeLizard has exited Palace of Darkness. He feels at least he's hit a wall. Where's he going now? Taking the safe route through Death Mountain while Vonkie takes on Landmolas. I think that was a complete whiff on the first round. Buttersword. No, he must have got one hit at least on that one Landmolas. Gets 2 down on the second phase. Gonna get a really quick 3 cycle here. And honestly, that's not too bad with a Buttersword. It's really hard to land multiple hits on them. That's gonna be a crystal for him. His second. CodeLizard gonna be able to check Spike Cave? That's where he's going. He doesn't have many items, but the ones he does have are the hammer and the cape. And should he need it, he's even got a potion. But without half magic, look at how quickly this thing drains. He's got no boots to dash. He's probably going to need to use this potion. And he knows it. Ooh, he used that really early. Oh, I guess he's just going to refill the magic as well. Alright, Cave of Burn. Saving grace for CodeLizard. What is it? Heart container, not what he needs to get back in this race. Everything conspiring against him. Vonkie heading back into the Dark World. With Mirror, Hookshot, and Flippers, he can do Swamp Palace now. Swamp Palace has 6 juicy items waiting inside. Some of them kind of annoying to get to, 2 in particular on the west side. So if possible, you would like to be able to do Swamp Palace in go mode and just kind of rush through. Don't even need the boss key. But you don't always get that opportunity. And with Turtle Rock required, they're still missing Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Cane of Samaria. Myers required, so they're still missing the Flute. They're missing a number of medallions. Lots of items still left to find. So no way can you be thinking about skipping chests here in Swamp Palace. In my amateur opinion. We'll see what Vonkie thinks as he heads into the dungeon in just a moment. Checking the map to confirm that it is in fact a crystal dungeon. If you know your music, you can tell what dungeon it is by the music that is playing. The Dark World dungeon music plays if it's a crystal dungeon. Light World if it's a pendant. CodeLizard, finally heading up to Zora's domain. Gonna see the ledge item. Gonna be happy that it's nothing. Piece of heart. Piece of garbage is what it is, he says. Don't need it. Don't need flippers either, for now. He just needs 500 rupees. And he's got him. Ready to pay. Zora's domain. The Riverine. Heading up to King Zora. Please, for the love of God, bail me out of this seed, King Zora, he says, and King Zora complies with the hookshot. Pieces falling into place for CodeLizard. He is going to eventually need those flippers to do Swamp Palace. So he is going to have to figure out that one mistake that was the root cause of all of his misfortune. But he's going to be able to correct almost everything else. Vonkie using the hookshot to uncover a key here. Needs to be careful. Getting that key in that way can get you access to a part of the dungeon. Boy, where were flippers? Let me tell you, Ruble. Blind's house in Kakariko. Behind the bombable wall. CodeLizard. Blew it up. Checked the 4 items and left. He left the flippers in there. What are the odds he's going to go back and check that? Oh, that's the worst. It's a really big problem. So Vonkie has done a detour for an item there. Not going through the bottom left, he's going through the top left. This means he needs to be careful with the switch. I mean, he has to in order to hit the switch. Don't flood the key. Don't flood the key. Going down. Perfect. CodeLizard. Hookshot in hand, going to East Side Death Mountain, finding the Titan's myths. Gonna open up a ton of things for him. Vonkie gets the key that he did not flood. CodeLizard also finding the book and the bow. And the bombs in the bug catching net. I think I got all those items marked off on the tracker. Vonkie's heading to this west side here. Wants to clear out this palace of all of its items. Yeah, this race would be totally different if those flippers were in one of those other chests and nothing was behind that bombable wall. Totally different race. The smallest thing can make or break a rando. Vonkie earns himself the red boomerang for his quest through Swamp Palace. If he did not have the big key, he might have wanted to go that way anyway. I did not notice if he picked that up already, but I think maybe he did. Powder for CodeLizard. After walking slowly through Spiral Cave. No boots for either player. And looking less and less like they're required. We know the Quake Medallion is in the library. But we have not seen... We saw Turtle Rock. That was Bombos. So possibly not required. CodeLizard down to 1 heart. He already used that blue potion. And I don't think he picked up the other potion. So needs to be just a little careful here. Not really too many things that can harm him in this section of Death Mountain. He's just got me a little worried. Is he gonna do a hookshot clip? No, he's not. Yeah, there. See how careful he's playing it around those hard hat beetles or whatever they're called. Does get a heart drop. That's gonna ease his worries just a little bit. Vonkie taking some damage here. Heading down in Swamp Palace to check these 2 chests. There's the big key. Finally finds it. Maybe he's gonna backtrack. CodeLizard finding that half magic. Pretty sweet. That is the official name. I heard someone say it. It might have been you, Hiei. Now, Vonkie's probably been keeping track of items better than me. But I think there's 2 left. Big chest. And, boss item. Oh boy, is he gonna be happy he went back. Silver arrows in the big chest. It's possible it was a 50-50 situation going on there. He must have got the lantern, right? Yeah, lantern was in that bottom chest. So mark that off for CodeLizard. I think it was a 50-50 situation. Argus in that chest. Or maybe both had items, I'm not sure. But he might have chosen not to check it. Missing as many required items as he is, I feel like he probably would have checked it anyway. Either way he did, and he's going to find those silver arrows. Not a required item, but very nice to have. CodeLizard has got his book and his lantern. Gonna head over to Desert Palace. That's gonna work out well for him. Vonkie's into the Argus fight. Putting this hook shot to work. He's gonna have some work to do if he wants to get this 1 cycle. 4 puffs left. Not gonna get it. He's gonna have to deal with this 2nd cycle. Even if he were to nab these puffs immediately as they start spinning, Argus will continue to spin nothing for a little bit before finally giving up and moving on to his 2nd phase. And getting the 3rd cycle, that is annoying. Really annoying movement from Argus there. Protecting his final precious puff. Does finally go down. 2 spins from the Butter Sword. Gonna take him out. And Compass. But we're not here for the compass, we're here for the crystal. 3rd crystal for Vonkie. Only 1 for CodeLizard. More importantly, that is the Swamp Palace Crystal. That is going to be the problem for CodeLizard. More than anything else in this game, for this race, getting that crystal is going to be the big problem. Vonkie, no flute, but he does have the mirror. Gonna check Bombo's tablet. Still a large number of required items and just good items to have. Still missing. Still unknown. Bombo's tablet does not hold any of the answers we're looking for. Just a piece of heart. CodeLizard's got the mirror from Desert Palace. And I think he was checking his items correctly because he's figured out the right side is only going to have the map. And or compass. Vonkie with the mirror is going to be able to check this heart piece location in the corner here. Also going to be able to do some Death Mountain stuff. Not Death Mountain, Blacksmith. I don't know how those two got mixed up, but they did. CodeLizard through the tile room, pulling out his freshly acquired lantern. Gonna try to dodge the Igor. Does so nicely. Vonkie mirroring a little off there. This is a really annoying place to mirror. If you get even a little bit inside this bush, it just kicks you right off. Does finally get back. CodeLizard into the Land Molas fight. Does some pretty good damage. The knockback from that spin sent him all the way into the wall. Rather impressive. Gets the one and the other. That's a solid 3 cycle for him. Vonkie, meanwhile, took a trip to the dig spot, and he got something. Fire Rod. Too busy watching Land Molas. Watching CodeLizard pick up his second crystal, but this Fire Rod's a very important find for Vonkie. He's going to be picking up the Helpless Frog here with Mirror and Hammer. He's going to be able to take care of a number of side quests here all in one go. And it looks like CodeLizard was not counting. He is going to go back into the dungeon and go all the way over to the right side for nothing. Dwarven Breadsmith returned safely. Oh, the shovel. I forgot about the shovel. He knows better than me. And then he does mirror out. See, he did Land Molas because he knew there was one item left in the dungeon. He thought the boss might have it. When the boss didn't have it, he knew I have to go to the right side. He played everything perfectly. Vonkie got the powder out. It's fine as I learn from my mistakes, right? 20 rupees. Batcave not going to pay off. CodeLizard heading to the dig spot. Going to be happy to find yet another required item in the Fire Rod. Vonkie, not interested in the purple chest, is going to start doing some pegs here. No boots, so no hammer dashes. Just one by one, squishing these purple little... I mean, they're nipples. Let's be honest. They're straight up nipples. And squishing them all down into the ground. Is Honky opening up the cave. And not going to find anything for it. Where's he going now? Thieves Town's a crystal. right there. But first he's got to check off some other things he has not done here in Village of Outcasts. CodeLizard also heading to Village of Outcasts. Vonkie finally finds this cape. And CodeLizard, with Fire Rod in hand, is going to be heading up to Skull Woods. Vonkie doesn't want to forget about the C-shaped house. I've seen this decider race. Someone just forgot to check this item. Not going to be the decider today. Today the decider is the Lion's Hut at Kakariko Village. That one item, that one location, is the story of this entire race so far. Yeah, the purple chest is pretty good if you haven't done all those items. Like the heart piece location that you mirror to, and the grove, and the Bombos tablet. If you're gonna sweep through all of that stuff, that's not too bad. But I think Vonkie's already done most of that. So he's highly discouraged to do the purple chest at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't come back to bite him. He's going into Thieves Town. He's going to have a much easier go of it than CodeLizard did. Blue mail, twice as many hearts. Gold sword. Showing his knowledge of where these bunny beams are, though. They're all placed underneath the bridges, because they thought it would be funny if you were to walk through a bridge and come out on the other side as a bunny. And they're right. It's pretty funny. But it's also really annoying. So you have to have pretty good knowledge of where all those things are to powder them ahead of time. CodeLizard fire rotting the Gibdos. He's got half magic, so that helps a lot in this dungeon. A lot of things need to get set on fire. And get set on fire they will. CodeLizard pulling the statue onto the switch. Harder than it looks. Also dodging the wall masters as well. Gets a big key and mirrors out. This is one of 2 dungeons where the big key is not required, but it will help you check a chest. And since chest checking is the name of the game at the moment, because these players are not in go mode, it is going to be helpful. Mirroring in front of the second phase of Skull Woods. Lots of items missing, lots of medallions missing, ice rod missing, flute missing. This could be... Nope. Just a heart container. Sorry, guys. I know that's what you came here to see. But today's not the day. Last night was the day, actually. If you missed it, Pedestal had a required ice rod last night. You want to go see Fat Homie versus Jackamus? That was the match. But if you're still with us, thank you. CodeLizard in the back half of Skull Woods here finds a small key and mirrors out. Using Z-SNES is fine for casual, if you just want to play the game and have fun. And don't let any speedrunner tell you otherwise. But if you want to compete with others, and race the game on Speedruns Live, you are going to have to use different emulators. Z-SNES does not emulate lag properly. It doesn't lag it at all, which is kind of good. I mean, that's better, isn't it? Aren't games better when they don't lag? But when you're trying to speedrun, you need to have that parity with consoles. So you'll need to use SNES 9X 1.5 or later. 1.53 seems to be the one that most people recommend. Or something like BizHawk, which runs Higan or BSNES. those cores. And I've heard SNES GT as well, but I honestly have no idea what it is, so I just recommend SNES 9X. A wonderful Mothula fight from CodeLizard, and is rewarded with the Ice Rod. All right, required items falling into place. A rod in each hand, looking for some medallions, Cane of Samaria, flute. But we're getting there, we're getting there. Also another crystal. Crystal down for CodeLizard. That Mothula fight was great, though. Mothula is very tricky. The bosses, well, all enemies in this game can be knocked into spikes for extra damage. And they wanted a bunch of spikes in that fight. And they realized, well, you can hit the boss into the spikes and just, you know, wreck the boss. So they're like, well, that's no good. Spikes will do 0 damage to this boss. Fixed. And then it turns out that 0 damage will overwrite any damage you do to the boss if you knock the boss into spikes. So you're actually playing a game of ping pong, trying to hit the boss into anything other than spikes to actually land solid hits. So CodeLizard landed actually 5 or 6 hits there. Only takes 4 to kill that boss. But still, all 5, 6 hits, whatever they were landed rather quickly. And so I still call that a great fight. Vonkie heading into blind here, having to chase him down a little bit. Blind will always do the same thing if you always do the same thing. So if you see a really experienced speedrunner of this game, you will probably see a very similar fight every single time. Usually they hold out the sword and do some pokes on blind at the top of the room. Getting the first phase will set you up to get a quick second phase, and then maybe he gets away in the third one. But if you follow the script all the way through the first 2 phases, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the third one very quickly. Anyway, with blind down, that is another crystal for Vonkie on the right. He's up 4-3. But as we know, that Swamp Palace crystal is a really, really big crystal for CodeLizard. He's still missing those flippers. And to him, flippers are just another item that's missing. You know, he needs a couple medallions, he needs a flute, he needs a Cane of Samaria, and he needs a flippers. He has no idea of the trap he's fallen into, missing those flippers in Kakariko. Vonkie's now heading into Skull Woods, while CodeLizard exits out. They did check Mushroom. I can't remember what it was. Probably nothing good. But then again, I forgot where the shovel was, so who knows. Shovel head to Fire Rod too. It's a pretty key item. So where are you gonna go, CodeLizard? You can't go to Swamp. You can go to Eastern, even though you know there's only one item there. Can't go to Mire or Turtle Rock. Do you go to Palace of Darkness, Pendant Dungeon? Tower of Hera, Pendant Dungeon? He's sort of pecked away at overworld locations like Swiss cheese, so I'm a little unsure of what he's checked and what he hasn't. He has not done Blacksmith, so he is going to do that. Vonkie clearing Gibdos out with his sword. Didn't kill the Wallmaster, so he's probably going to come back and harass him one last time. Taking the wide arc with this statue, because he knows the Wallmaster is going to come down and give him trouble. Can he get to the switch in time? He can. A little too far. Uh-oh. Okay, just enough time to dodge, or just enough space, rather, to dodge the Wallmaster. Gonna open this up. Big key, mirrors out. CodeLizard gets a heart from the Dwarven Breadsmiths. Thank you very much. Not what I'm looking for, but I'll take it. Hammers down the pegs. Gonna go to the Batcave. We know there's nothing there. So both players checking locations we've already seen. Vonkie trying to open the Skullwoods thing from the side a little bit. Doesn't really work that way. Still no boots for either player. Moving rather slow through these dungeons. CodeLizard's finally done with the Bat Cave. Purple chest. Purple chest. He's also going to do these pegs. One by one by one. Again, no boots, no hammer dash. CodeLizard, I think, has not done a few of these overworld locations that Vonkie has, so he's going to sweep through all of these in one go. And I don't think he's going to find much of anything, but he is going to do this purple chest. This is something Vonkie has not done. It's something Vonkie is pretty unlikely to do for a long time. So if this is something good, then he's got a chance, just a ghost of a chance to get back in this. Vonkie, meanwhile, good fight with Mothula, banging him around in the corner, just punishing him. If you hit Mothula, you interrupt his cycle of when he's going to attack again, and that means being aggressive will also serve defensively. So pretty solid strategy to just go after Mothula like he did. Don't let up. It worked out just fine. Great fight from him. CodeLizard checking this Heart Piece Cave, trying to get his chest back. Please, chest. No, I want it. I want my chest. Give it. The chest did follow him into the portal there. That's a good sign. All right. Need to be careful where you leave that chest with regards to your portal. It is possible, I believe. I'm pretty sure I heard someone who knows a thing or two say that you can use a bomb to get the chest. Like you explode yourself, and I don't know if you like knock yourself through the portal or if you just use the invincibility frames from it. But I think there's a way to use a bomb explosion to get that chest if it's trapped inside the portal like that. So here we go. Gary, what you got for us? I lugged this thing all the way here. Gary says, what was that? Someone just appeared before me and then just vanished. Weird. Oh, he's back. And he's got a chest. And there's a heart inside. That is not the required item CodeLizard is looking for. Is he called Gary? I don't know. That's what other people call him. Vonkie heading to the northern... Oh, I didn't mark off Skullwoods. You're right. Thank you very much. 5th crystal for Vonkie. He does not have what he needs for Mire or Turtle Rock, so he's in a pretty bad situation. Seems like he values overworld locations a lot more than dungeon locations. So while some people might say I've got everything I need to complete Pod, and that has 5 items in it, he says, I think I'll wait until I've exhausted some of these other overworld locations. And yes, he does have Ice Rod from defeating Mothula. Correct. In terms of items in Swamp, no. Silver arrows. But no. Crystal, though. Crystal absolutely required. And therefore flippers required. Vonkie returning with blue mail. 11 hearts. Gold sword. Returns to vanquish his enemy the crab that slain him earlier this seed. Finds the piece of heart. Rather disappointed. Save and exit. CodeLizard, by the way, is mostly cleared out Eastern Palace. He took a gamble on hoping the bow was here. It was not. He got burned. So this is his second trip here. The number of skeletons is not random. There are 4. And they spawn in the 4 cardinal directions around you. And if you move such that it spawns in a wall or in a pot, it doesn't spawn. So you can despawn 2 of them by moving cleverly about the room. They're also kind of invisible, so you can throw pots at them while they're invisible and kill them that way. CodeLizard does have the bow now, so he's able to take out these Igors and enter the Armos fight. While Vonkie has the mirror, it's going to let him explore some of these places he missed in Death Mountain. He might check Spike Cave. He's going to check Ether Tablet. And if he does go to Spike Cave... Oh, boots found. Located. Ether Tablet holding out on the footwear. Vonkie's got him all laced up. Off he goes into the Tower of Hera. CodeLizard finishing up Eastern Palace, getting his 4th crystal. Missing that 5th crystal Vonkie has. And he'll be missing it for a long time, I think. It's going to be very, very hard for him to sniff out these missing flippers. He's still got a lot of places left to check, though. Hasn't really been to Tower of Hera. Wait. Maybe I'm confusing my races. I hope so, because I'm pretty sure he has not been to Tower of Hera. Has not been to Palace of Darkness. And I guess Ice Palace is a thing. You never want to go there if you have to, but you can fake flippers to Ice Palace. Code has been to Blind's Hut. He got the 4 chests and he bombed the wall and then did not go get the chest behind the wall. It's a really big problem because there's... You're gonna think that you checked it, just straight up. CodeLizard's spending an awful lot of time in some menus. Red Boomerang, I think, was in Swamp, actually, now that I think about it. Not a required item, but someone did ask about items in Swamp earlier. Vonkie has made his way all the way to Moldorm. I've been rather distracted by chat. Answering questions, though. So, for good reason. Moldorm fight, landing some pokes rather than some slashes or spins. So not doing full damage here to Moldorm. Does get him down, though. You want to be holding that sword out and holding away from the ledge. That prevents you from falling down. And that's really what you're worried about in this fight. He gets a compass from Moldorm, as well as a green pendant. And that pendant could maybe lead to something good. Because Moldorm had a compass, I'm pretty sure there's still another item left in the basement of Tower of Hera, so that's where he's going now. CodeLizard gonna find the boots here on Ether Tablet. Neither player wants to head into Palace of Darkness or Ice Palace. Much rather would head to Hera first. So CodeLizard is gonna find those boots. And he's gonna find whatever Vonkie's about to find here. At the other end of this tile room. Just a little bit to go, though. Just a little. It's a big 8 on the floor. For the 8 minutes you have to wait for these tiles to pass. But then the 8 turns into a skull. Oh no. So spooky. Pulling out the fire rod, going to be able to light these torches. Doing it in the most inefficient way possible. Cane Samaria, holy crap! Required item in the basement of Pendant Hera. They were missing so many items. One had to be somewhere in a really annoying. So not all that surprised, really. They're kind of running out of places to check. I fully expect CodeLizard to also check the basement after he's done. Now, Vonkie, I'm pretty sure has already checked Turtle Rock. I was just going to get a peek at the island, which I also missed. I'm pretty sure that's the second time I had a chance to see that item, and I also missed it. So, yeah, I thought Vonkie was getting crazy and going to Turtle Rock. Man, you don't have bombos. You can't open that thing. But he's got pretty much everything else he needs to do it. Pretty interesting. And he is going to go to Spike Cave. He is going to find a heart container and not be thrilled about it. And lacking the flute and possibly a medallion. Cane of Samaria is not the right cane. This is the only situation where blue cane is better than orange cane. And then on top of that, the block remaining and getting in his way, that's pretty comical. Either way, he's got safely to the chest. CodeLizard safely deals with Moldorm using cape strats, half magic, makes it easy peasy, no problem. Gets his green pendant. Spike Cave cleared for Vonkie. Tower of Hera was a bust. What are you going to do? Cash in the green pendant? Palace of Darkness? Ice Palace? He's thinking I never checked the old Flanktuary chests. 2 bonk spots required with the boots. Well, not really bonks. The rocks you bonk into and the tomb you kind of bonk into. But either way, piece of heart. CodeLizard has indeed gone back into Hera basement. This is great news for anyone who wants to see this not end up a total blowout. He's going to absolutely need the King of Samaria waiting down there. Would have been quite the oversight if he had missed it. But he's been properly counting items, so he's going to check. Finding the other piece of heart to complete his collection in the other chest flanking the sanctuary is Vonkie. Pretty sure he has already checked the north side in the Dark World. But maybe that was CodeLizard. I don't know. These guys have been all over the place in the overworld. I haven't really been able to keep them straight. Cane of Samaria in hand for CodeLizard. Gonna mirror out. Where's he off to now? Where's he going? I know where Vonkie's going. Just kidding, I don't. Oh, he's cashing in the green pendant. I thought he was going to Palace of Darkness. Before he does that, he wants to cash in this pendant. ₹20. If you can't have an item on the Master Sword pedestal, you at least want to see the green pendant be something, right? Wrong. Misery Mire is one of the other crystals, 5 and 6. Not sure which one, but one of them. Which means Fat Fairy, not an option. High five from both players. Heading to Sahasrara to cash in their green pendant. Both of them disappointed. Both of them maybe heading to Palace of Darkness. That's where Vonkie's going. Where's CodeLizard going? Not many options left, CodeLizard. He doesn't want to go. He really doesn't want to go. Trying to think of anywhere else he can go. Vonkie's already prepared to bite the bullet. He's dashing on in. CodeLizard going to be heading to the Dark Worlds. It's going to be disappointed if he tries to go to Swamp Palace. Pedestal's heart container. We don't know anything about Misery Mire because we haven't seen the flute. But we know Bombos is required for Turtle Rock, and we don't know where that is. We do know where Quake is. That's in the library. And both players know that, and both players recently discovered the boots, and I think neither player has gone back to recollect it. I'm pretty sure we also have seen Catfish, and it's nothing good. Vonkie came over this way and died before reaching it, losing quite a bit of time. But yeah, it's just some rupees. CodeLizard checked this area earlier. One more overworld location ticked off for Vonkie. Heading to Sanctuary. Have they checked Pyramid? Yes. Yes. Yes, they have. The flippers were missed, Corporal Spider. The finger webs. Vonkie is tired of looking for these items. He says, yeah, I'll go to Palace of Darkness if I have to, but not until I'm absolutely sure. He wants to know if he needs to clear that whole dungeon. And so for that information, he is heading into Lost Woods. He's got the book out. He's going to be relieved / maybe a little frustrated to see it is not anything he needs. I mean, you never want to have a required item be in that pedestal. But on the other hand, it is nice to know that the item you're looking for is at least somewhere. Sometimes it feels like it's nowhere. I don't think these players have quite reached that point, but they're getting there. Vonkie heading into Kakariko. Gonna go to the Dark World portal. I can't remember if he's checked Bumper Cave or not. Perhaps that's where he's going. CodeLizard has finally headed into Palace of Darkness. Turtle's camping him out, finds the flute! Finally, CodeLizard has some kind of advantage over his opponent, finding a key item his opponent has not. Making progress is CodeLizard. Vonkie does not want to go to Palace of Darkness. He's afraid of the dark. Anything but the dark. I'll lug this purple chest halfway across the world before I'll go into Palace of Darkness. And here he goes. Vonkie on his great journey. Gonna leave that chest outside and pick up the Quake medallion. They spotted this item 15 minutes into the run. And at an hour and a half, they finally, one player at least, has gone and picked it up. Vonkie's still schlepping this chest. I guess he's just like got a rope tied around his waist. Just hustling around, doing some kind of advanced weight training. Heart, great, perfect, he says. Where do I go next? Are there even any overworld locations left to check at this point? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's true. If CodeLizard does get really frustrated and decides to check every possible chest, starting from the beginning, he will actually find the flippers rather quickly. So there is that. that one hope we can hold on to. CodeLizard down to 3 hearts here in the Dark Maze, now down to 2. Blue Tunic is going to help him out quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure he has no more potions to rely on. And this room's pretty tricky in the dark. This fire has a really lingering hitbox. These Kodongos, I believe they're called, are very annoying. So exercising some patience here is CodeLizard, though he is down to 1 heart now. Vonkie's down to 6 and he hasn't even entered the dungeon yet. Piece of heart for CodeLizard, not going to be the 4th one he needs. That would have been a very timely heart refill, but no such luck. And he is leaving. There is more to check, I'm pretty sure, in Palace of Darkness. He doesn't want any part of it. Are you allowed to re-watch your own stream? I have no idea. You're allowed to keep track of your own progress via a tracker, but you're not allowed to use an automatic tracker. But then I don't know. You could say it was a form of note-taking in the form of a video, a long video note. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, someone who is an authority has probably already made the decision about this. Not like it's my call, but just me personally, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Interesting question. CodeLizard. Fluting to Meyer. I predict he's going to find one of the medallions in here. Gonna pull out this mirror and do the old mirror trick. It evaporates blocks for some reason. Something to do with the block switching from a background object to a sprite while it is being pushed. The game does not like the mirror in those situations. It just kind of deletes them. Very handy for certain situations like that one. Mirror also gonna let him check the northeast cave and hopefully not make a liar out of me. Because I said one of the medallions is going to be there, and 2 out of 3 locations, no medallion. Chat's also spotted Bombos required for Meyer, so Quake doesn't matter. Bombos, the one true medallion. And it's not there in the desert. Where is it? Gotta be in a dungeon. Does Helmasaur have it? Ice Palace? CodeLizard's thinking Ice Palace, jumped in, ready to go to Ice Palace, and realizes I don't have the flippers. Alright, I will fake flippers to the Ice Palace. Here I go, doing my fake flippers. This is actually pretty annoying to execute. If you have the fighter sword, you can use that bush to line you up pretty nicely, but I think when you have a bigger sword, it's not that simple to use the bush anymore. Vonkie's got that flute. CodeLizard's one major advantage just got lost. So Vonkie also leaving Palace of Darkness without completing it. Obviously not a crystal dungeon, but there's more to find, Vonkie. He doesn't know that yet, but he's going to find out shortly. I imagine the reason he left is because he wants to use this flute, and he wants to go check the mire. CodeLizard executing on fake flippers. He's going to be able to get into Ice Palace. Not going to help him in Swamp Palace, though. No screen transitions to enter to initiate the fake flippers glitch. You need real flippers if you want to get that Swamp Palace crystal. But if you just want to get into Ice Palace and try to find some items, you can. Vonkie unlocked the flute. mashing that flute button. I'm not sure if we have his audio or CodeLizard's, but let me assure you, he is he's one fine flutist. CodeLizard dealing with those Pengators, I found out they're called, and I love that name. Yeah, I was not counting items in Palace of Darkness, but I have a pretty good feeling I'm a Star Fox character now all of a sudden, that they did not get all 5 items in Palace of Darkness. Pretty sure there's at least one more in there. Vonkie gonna be very disappointed here in Mire. Bombos can be in Ice Palace. Yeah. In fact, at this point, it's incredibly likely that it is. Could be in the back half of Palace of Darkness. That's where Vonkie thinks it is. CodeLizard giving up on Ice Palace. He's realized there's some overworld locations I have not checked yet. I definitely want to check those first. Vonkie getting ripped apart by one of those pterodactyls is what I just made up just now. Not sure what they're actually called. But they're pink and they do a lot of damage, so he is down to 4 hearts before re-entering the Palace of Darkness here. Yes, it could be that Code realizes that he needs the flippers and there's no way they're in Ice Palace. The game knows that the only reason you can get in there... Murder Dactyl. There we go. I like that more. If you have to execute fake flippers to get into Ice Palace, it's not going to put real flippers there, because that would require you to do a glitch, a minor glitch, but a glitch all the same. These seeds are created with glitchless logic. So he knows flippers are not an Ice Palace, but he knows that Bombos could be there, so he could go look for Bombos. And then Bombos could open up Mire. But then he knows for sure that flippers are not going to be in Mire because they're part of that same quest chain. So he knows flippers are somewhere else. And he figures there's no point looking elsewhere until he has those flippers. He'd be making progress, sure. But he needs to solve this problem eventually. So he might as well solve it now. Flippers are for Swamp. You can only get through there with the real flippers. Vonkie wants this fairy real bad, does track it down and get it. CodeLizard doesn't find his flippers and says, I don't know what to do, but I know I can get into ice if I do this, so I'm just going to go do it, I guess. Maybe he's just trying to buy himself time to think of where these flippers could be while he works on this Ice Palace dungeon. Newcomers learning the fate of the location of the flippers. It's grim. It doesn't look good. The odds that... I mean, eventually CodeLizard runs out of places to check. And he's fast approaching that situation. So when he does, where do you go? What do you recheck? How high on that list is Kakariko Village and the several sets of items there? Probably not that high. You're probably going to go to Spike Cave. You're probably going to go to King's Tomb. You're probably going to go to Agana's Cave. One of those one-offs. Ice Rod Cave, you know? You're probably not going to go to one of the locations at the start of the game that you are almost programmed to check right away at the start of every run. But who knows? Maybe he says, I'm just going to start at the beginning. Just going to go back to the beginning of the run and retrace my steps and check all the chests. If he does that, he actually won't have to wait too long. I like that alternative strategy to get 2 Stalfos Knights with 1 bomb, knocking them down and to the right rather than both upwards. CodeLizard gets the key. Is he going to hit the switch? He's thinking about it. Pedestal's the heart container. Yep. Not going to hit the switch. No bomb jump today. If he's going to fully explore the palace, not really needed. Though it can save you some time if you have trouble finding that big key. He also has the Cane of Samaria, so he doesn't really need to worry about pushing that block down. Landing the spin on the 5 Pen Gators is pretty nice. Vonkie opens 1 chest in the dark, gets 300 rupees, and mirrors out. I assume he checked the other chest on the other side. And, what probably happened is he found the 5th item in Palace of Darkness, knows there's nothing left there. So he knows it's gotta be Ice Palace. Bombos has gotta be in there. That, or I've forgotten something. And I'm relying on you, chat, so all of us together, we've all forgotten something. If we're surprised when there's no Bombos in here. Both players in Ice Palace. We fully expect them to find Bombos in here somewhere. Both players are going to be able to complete it. But one player is going to be able to go about their merry way, completing their final 2 dungeons, while the other is going to be stuck spinning their wheels until they check Blind's hut in Kakariko Village. Vonkie taking a moment to consider his options. You can do a couple different routes in Ice Palace depending on what small keys you obtain where. Oh, I never did get the mushroom. But he does have that. Thank you very much. Vonkie's struggling a little bit with this switch. Gonna use 2 bombs to take out these Stalfos Knights. CodeLizard, no interest in powdering the fairy. Pretty bold. Just barely gets the King of Samaria block in the right spot. Got a fair chunk of magic, but without Bombos, which he has not found, by the way. He has to open up Cold Stare with the Fire Rod. Oh, careful with that cape. You need a lot of the magic from that Fire Rod. At half magic, it's going to take pretty much all that he's got left. Is going to opt for the cape. Doesn't have enough time to charge up the spin, so he's just going to slash. Priority is grouping them in the corner rather than getting that spin for... Well, the spin does the same amount of damage as slash, I guess. It's just more consistent. So he does successfully corral them into the corner and gets a pretty nice kill. And I saw a rupee. I didn't see a Bombos, you guys. Did he miss an item somewhere? The plot thickens. Yeah, he's going back in Ice Palace, so he's not done looking for items. Nope, Fat Fairy can't have it. Mire requires Bombos. Fat Fairy requires Mire. Vonkie having trouble with this room with the fire bar. Though he does... Oh, just get off there. Okay. Looked really good there. Until he hit the end. Vonkie finds that big key. They have checked Bumper Cave, yes. They've checked both tablets. They've checked Spike Cave. They've checked Agana's Cave, Catfish, Mushroom, Shovel, Purple Chest. Hookshot Cave. They checked Green Pendant. Mimic Cave is locked behind Turtle Rock, which requires Bombos. They checked Spiral Cave, Blacksmith, Bat Cave. Yep, they cashed in the mushroom. Lake Hyli item, they checked it. They checked Hobo. If they miscounted items in Palace of Darkness, well, mystery solved. Bombos found. Both players. Bam, boom, bam. Vonkie officially enters Go mode. CodeLizard officially enters a ridiculous quest for these flippers. What an amazing race this would have been if he had those flippers. Just imagine if that Swamp Crystal was just lit up. And these guys were off to Mire. Synchronized. So look, CodeLizard has what he needs to get into Mire now. So he's going to get in there. But we know, he should know, maybe he doesn't, but he should know, there's no way the flippers can be inside here. Because to get in here, you need Bombos. To get Bombos, you need to get into Ice Palace, and to get an Ice Palace, you need flippers. So he can clear this out and go clear out Turtle Rock, and the flippers cannot be in either one. He needs to find them from somewhere else. But until then, we can pretend. We can pretend that these players are neck and neck. How exciting! Mire too. Both players already missing one cycle on the Wizroads. And there's the second cycle. Can they get them down to the third cycle? CodeLizard misses one. Vonkie as well on his third cycle. Gonna get a fourth. It does eventually get these Wizrobes down. CodeLizard into the lead. Not really, but let's just pretend for a moment that CodeLizard. Couple of seconds. Vonkie really low on health. Dangerous situation. He still has a potion, I believe. CodeLizard also has a potion. He's going to be looking pretty good. Big key found already for both players. They're going to be able to rush through this dungeon. Still need a small key, though. I think one, maybe two. At least one, for sure. How does Vonkie approach this spike situation? With 2 hearts. Yep, pulls out the cape. Cannot afford to take damage on these spikes. CodeLizard now, also low on health, does powder the fairy. That's going to pop him up back to 9.5 hearts, sitting pretty. Blue Mail really doing some work here for these guys. Vonkie making quite a trek for a key and a switch. Whereas CodeLizard has decided to press on without said key. We'll see if this gets him into trouble, because I think it will. Unless he's already passed through whatever key door he needed to get through. Must confess, I have not gotten to Meyer yet in my Randomizer with Andy. So the exact details of the dungeon, very blurry for me. Flippers are in Blind's hut in Kakariko Village right at the start of the game. CodeLizard threw a bomb at the wall, opened the other 4 chests, and then left without checking. So I am wrong. CodeLizard is right. Big key. Getting to the boss door, into the Vitreous fight. Could pull out the bow, but he's going to go to work with the cane instead. Gold Sword going to do a lot of work on these eyeballs. Half magic. Going to make sure he's totally fine all the way until the second phase where he can just pump him full of arrows. Easy Vitreous kill, using all the tools at his disposal. CodeLizard picking up a significant lead over Vonkie due to his impressive performance in the mire. What can Vonkie do to catch up? There's only Turtle Rock left, guys. CodeLizard going into desert. Maybe I miscounted in desert. Vonkie is into the Vitreous fight himself. He too does not want to mess around, pulls out the cape. And maybe didn't want to take off the cape in the middle of the lightning attack, but whatever. Silver arrows for Vonkie that he found in Swamp Palace. Taking care of Vitreous very quickly. That's crystals for both players. Vonkie's 6th, CodeLizard's 5th. CodeLizard is free to go to Turtle Rock. But that would be a mistake at this point. So he's looking. Palace of Darkness, he says. A lot of items in there, really likely to miscount. Big dungeon, lots of chests to keep track of. So he's highly suspicious there. Gonna go ahead and check it out. Can't blame him. Makes a lot of sense. Vonkie, smooth sailing. Perhaps, maybe. I mean, if you think about it from his perspective, it is 154 into this seed. He still has a whole Turtle Rock to go. The flippers could be in pod, except I'm pretty sure that he checked all 5 items in here, and that's why he left. And now he's just returning to make sure that he did in fact get all 5 items. But maybe he didn't, in which case it would have been kind of weird to leave early. But yeah, this far behind, taking forever to find the flute, the way Vonkie did, he could be feeling really stressed out right now, feeling like he really has to hurry. So Vonkie, about to open up Turtle Rock. CodeLizard on his way there. Perhaps. Maybe he wants to double check some of these Death Mountain locations. He might want to do Turtle Rock just because he knows it's something he can do. Just something. And maybe while he's doing it, it'll just come to him. Oh, I didn't check this place, that place. Yeah, chat's already pointed it out. 5 different ways, but I'll say it all the same. The logic requires you to go to Ice Palace to get Bombos. Well, let me start at the top. Turtle Rock requires Bombos to open, which requires getting into Ice Palace to find it, which requires Flippers to get into Ice Palace. So the game will not put Flippers here because the chain of items requires you to have already had it at this point. That is how the randomizer logic works when placing items. So he's not going to find one of his key items that he's missing, but he is going to make progress. Vonkie using the fire rod on this pokey one-shots it as opposed to possibly having it bounce all around the room in a really awkward way. Chomp eating up the King of Samaria projectile and then dealing damage. Vonkie getting locked out of the room down to half a heart. Does get tagged by the Chomp. That's a death. Fairy's going to bring him back. And he does have some potions, I think. Maybe just one. Finds the big key. CodeLizard back to start here. He wants this fairy. He's got the net out. He's spinning. Spin to win. Did not spin. And so he lost. Gobbled up that fairy for 2 hearts. Not going to be able to put it in that bottle the way he wanted. CodeLizard entering the Chomp room. Relying on that fire rod at first. Ooh, just... Man, these Chomps are not playing nice today. Gonna pull out the cape. Retreats to safety to use it. Gets the key and gets out of there. Tons of fairies available here if you have the powder. Vonkie putting it to work to refill. CodeLizard as well. Vonkie getting bunny beamed, making the right play and not opening that door with the key. The only thing you're going to get is another key. It's possible that the big key is required to open the big chest to get a small key in order to progress through the dungeon. Oh, Pokey dropping a fairy. I wonder if that's the same vanilla prize pack. One of the strategies for no major glitches is to manipulate a fairy drop from a Pokey in Turtle Rock, because it's much more helpful to get it now than earlier on in Siagnum's tower. CodeLizard is just getting pelted by these eye lasers. He's had enough and he's out. Down to 2 hearts. Oh, he's probably setting up a death warp. But for now, he's going to check Mimic Cave. He's praying maybe the logic broke and they put the flippers in here. And I'm going to find them, and Vonkie's never going to find them, and that's how I'm going to win this thing. Who knows what he's thinking. But when you're this desperate, you will check the Mimic Cave. Down to 1 heart. Don't get yourself killed on an enemy that you have full control over where it moves. Thank goodness. Still down to 1 heart, though. That problem has not gone away for CodeLizard. Forfeit is a 6-hour time, yes. CodeLizard getting that intentional game over to refill some health. Very wise move. Vonkie looking for a key, gets it. He's out. The other thing about forfeiting is that if you might just want to not forfeit, you know, out of principle. Some players have their pride and whatnot. There are some blind players who are known for like never forfeiting. They just always see it out. In these races, we do use SRL for these races, Speedruns Live, and their sort of automated race bot thing that makes sure both runners go at the same time. Has things in place to facilitate these matches. And they have a scoring system there, so if you care about your Speedruns Live points, then you might not want to forfeit for that reason. Vonkie finishing off Turtle Rock, collecting his 7th crystal. CodeLizard making his way through the dungeon. Hookshot for invincibility frames. Aimed it downwards, so he didn't give himself quite enough frames to get through that firebar. Does take a hit. Down to 4 hearts. We know he's going to find the key he needs in one of these 4 chests. Vonkie charging through. Lionel Richie. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? No, it's not. I'm looking for Ganon. I stole that from Scrivo. That's his joke. We give credit here in the speedrun community. If you find a strat, the strat gets named after you. If you make a joke, if you make a good pun, you'll get remembered for it. Chat's already guessing. You guys know the drill. Big key. Chests 1 through 22. Get them in, make them quick, because chests are starting to open. It's not 1. It's not 2. 1 to 22, what's it going to be? Bob chest number 14. Right side chest means 18 or higher. Right? 8, 9, 20, 21, 20. Yes. I say 19 because that's what I always say. It's never right. Except for one time I watched Yogi the Monk do a race, and that was 19. Chest number 4, because the torch was 3, by the way. That's 5. Bloomerang. Hello. 6. Another potion. Nice to have. Nice to have. But not a big key. 7. Also A zonk. CodeLizard into the try next fight. My apologies. 2 hours of solo casting, doing a number on the old voice. But I'm back. Any more guesses? Because guessing time's over. Chest number 9? Maybe? 8? 9? 10? Not sure. Either way, he's got it. 9. I was right the first time. I should have just had more confidence. 9 is the winner. Congratulations. You win my respect. CodeLizard detouring for a blue potion. Not too shabby. Not flippers. Not flippers. Anything other than flippers is looking more and more shabby by the minute for CodeLizard. Look at him staring at this map. Where? I've been everywhere. But clearly I haven't been somewhere. I'm keeping an eye on the IRC chat because 2 runners actually decided to do a race off stream for scheduling reasons. And it just so happened the one run that didn't get streamed turned out to have stumbled across a bug with an unwinnable seed. The fire rod was placed too deep in Turtle Rock such that you required it to get to it. He might be thinking, you know, do I have some weird bugged seed that can't be winnable? Or did I just forget something? Hovering over Kakariko, we know if he hits that button, he's on the right track. We could do a little hot cold. Yeah, I think that bug was actually known. It was just an incredibly small chance that just happened to rear its head here. I don't know exactly where, but I believe the problem with Fire Rod was deep in Turtle Rock. Vonkie doing his best to make it through Ganon's tower. Lanmolas, he lands one long-distance snipe with the silver arrow and tried to follow it up with a couple sword slashes. Is going to need to clean up one last Lanmolas. Could have slashed it, but went with the silver arrow shot. Nails it all the same. Vonkie using that stylish triple shot with the Cane of Samaria, one of my favorite strats, and then immediately, unceremoniously, falling off a ledge twice. But he's back. And again, T-shape, nope, put it right down the middle. 7-10 split. Can't even pick up the spare. Third cycle, grabs the Wizrobes. Moving on. The runners were Xylo LP. Like that. And Zarnax... What is the number on Zarnax's name? 42, I think? Maybe someone can correct me. And I know my keyboard's loud, sorry. CodeLizard pulling out the super bomb. He should know that the crystal required to unlock the super bomb was from the dungeon that required the item that required the flippers to get to, so therefore the flippers cannot be in here, but he is so desperate, he's going to check it anyway. Piece of heart. Blue rupee. Grasping at straws is CodeLizard. Where can it be? Can't go to swamp. Already checks Palace of Darkness, he says. He seems pretty confident he's cleared out Palace of Darkness of all of its items. So he's not really looking at those blinking icons right now. He's looking visually in his mind at all of the chest locations around the world, scattered all over. He's trying to find one he hasn't checked, right? But in his mind, he absolutely has checked Blind's Hut and Kakariko Village. A fall to Moldorm 2 for Vonkie. Between the spikes. Missing the insult injury there. Down to 4.5 hearts. You two-shot Moldorm with the gold sword. Doing the right play and using the charge to get the sort of knockback invincibility that you get from the boots. Hookshotting a little too soon. Gonna take the time to validate his run and open up that chest for the compass. I think the game decides between half magic and quarter magic each run. It's either one or the other. Yes, chat confirming that now. So for this run, it's half magic. Vonkie into the Aga 2. Clones lining up pretty good here, but hard to take advantage. They were maybe actually too good, all attacking at the same time. Even if he directed those two shots at him, probably would have counted as a double hit. And not doing a great job at that third round. Gonna go with just a solid one hit on the third round. Doesn't seem very comfortable trying to line up multiple hits. If you are trying to move, hit a shot, move again, and hit another shot on Aghanim, it is very tricky. Very, very tricky. And can't blame him. He's going for a little something there. Ends up missing all three. That's the danger of going for it. More often than not, you screw yourself out of the one guaranteed hit you could have got if you had just played it safe. So that's what he does there. Gets the last hit. Vonkie still down to 2.5 hearts. Got a ton of health refill options for the Ganon fight. But you don't want to have to use those if you don't have to. CodeLizard still staring at this map, wondering where could it be? Where could it be? This is an awful feeling. But when your opponent hasn't dot-domed yet, you can't help but think he must be in the same horrible boat as me. Which of us is going to bail out of this sinking ship first? He's going to find out in about a minute and a half that Vonkie's already in the lifeboat and pedaling to shore. Pedaling? Is that something you do in a lifeboat? Is it one of those swans that you ride around in the lake? Anyway, whatever it is, Vonkie's on it and he's heading to safety. In this Ganon fight, using the cape and half magic. Normally not a good idea if you're worried about running out of magic for torches, but between the blue potion he has and the fact that he's got silvers so that he doesn't really need to worry too much about getting torch glitch, he's fine. He's fine. Paddling. That's probably what my brain wanted to say. Good call. Perfect torch glitch. And lining up the silvers. Gets a double. Vonkie looking super good. Wow, I think he probably could have got more there. Ganon kind of froze for a little bit. That was kind of weird. Almost getting that last hit there to encapsulate a wonderful Ganon fight. As such, it's just going to have to settle for a pretty good Ganon fight. Getting the hit, trading hits there. Knows he's got the last one. Oh, my bad. Not a double, or not a miscounted. Straight up. Fire Rod. Too far away to land the hit. Gonna wait. Tap. Bang. Win the game. With a final SRL time of 2-15-19. Our winner of this pretty trolly seed is Vonkie. Congratulations to him. And for those wondering, it is immediately followed by a forfeit from CodeLizard, who says, okay, where were the flippers? And I'm typing, you're gonna hate yourself. Blind's hut in Kakariko. Bombed wall. Didn't grab. He says, I already do. This is the interview process. You know what? Maybe we better to just talk about these things. Apologies for my very, very loud keyboard, but I do want to make sure that we at least get the chance to talk to these runners about their run. Oh. Hello, Vonkie. Are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little quiet, but I think once Fiesel bumps you up, you'll be fine.
No, it should be.
So, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I honestly did not expect to win this.
Yeah, your opponent ran into some trouble, as you can probably tell from the instant forfeit.
Well, something about flippers, or?
Yeah, so you might recall the flippers were in Blind's hut in Kakariko Village.
Which one is Blind's hut?
The gray one in the basement with the 4 chests, and then you.
Oh, the thieves' hut. Yeah.
Yeah. So he bombed the wall, grabbed the chests, and then left without checking the chests behind the bombed wall.
Oh, ouch!
And that was the one with the flippers. And so. Then you guys just completed the rest of the game, except you did Swamp Palace and he couldn't, and that was it. That was the whole.
Yeah. What was in Swamp? I don't remember actually.
Nothing good really, like a red boomerang, silver arrows.
Oh yeah, silver arrows. Okay, that was the only thing. I really had trouble finding bombos.
Yes, we were.
Oh.
It was the hunt for bombos.
And for me, the ocarina. I could not find the ocarina.
Yes. Also, both of you had trouble with both those items. Even us in the chat, trying to keep track, like mentally crossing out all the spaces you guys checked, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be in Bombos, right? Or it has to be in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I finished the Palace of Darkness, and then I realized, oh my god, it's actually in Ice. I honestly did not expect to win this, because I died a few times in the Ice Rod Cave, right before the Ice Rod Cave, and on my way to the Catfish. I was like, oh, these are going to be important items, are they?
Yeah, those were... they ended up not being important items, but those deaths were very costly.
Yeah,
very close to checking the one item and then fell short. How did you feel when you picked up that blue mail from the digging game?
Well, a little bit relieved. I mean, I can do it with green. I just played very recklessly and stupid mistakes. Just going too fast, I guess.
Okay.
I have finished the game before in a green mail, so.
Yeah, it was not a priority. I mean, after those deaths, I feel like you see that blue mail, you know you're low.
Oh yeah, it was kind of a relief because I knew I was playing bad, and I was like, oh, thank God it's there.
This will bail me out a little bit.
So I guess the red mail should be in Ganon's Tower, or yeah, I guess Ganon's Tower.
I suppose so. We never saw.
Or Meyer. I mean, I didn't get everything from Meyer.
Yeah, both of you did Meyer in Go mode, and found the key pretty quickly, the big key.
Yeah, I was kind of in debate. I didn't even know if I needed a key, yes or no. So I actually went around, grabbed the key just to be sure. After I found the big key.
Well, let's see how.
He is in the room above, so.
Your brackets.
Waiting room.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get him in here right now. CodeLizard, are you there? He's unmuted, but I don't hear him.
Yes, hello.
Oh, I hear something.
Yes, I had inline mic muted as well.
Got it. So, obviously, there's one major thing we want to talk to you about. Now, you mentioned something in chat, and I wanted to save it for the email.
So, yeah, I have only forgotten that room in Blaine's hut twice, ever. Both times, it held the flippers on a seed with flippers were required.
Ouch.
Yep.
Well, on the bright side, when I entered Ice Palace and found Bombos, I was, oh my god, that's exactly the same chest as I missed the first time, in the first race, and could not find the flute, and it was in there. So I was like, oh my god, not again.
Yeah,
at that point,
I hate the seed and everything about it. Every single pendant dungeon was required without it actually being a Master Sword seed.
Yeah, when I came out of that Ice Palace, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose this again because of that same chest. This is just karma, you know?
Yeah, I actually found Bombos. I had a sneaking suspicion because I was missing flippers and Bombos. And I fake flippered into the Ice Palace thinking, okay, I'm probably going to get flippers with the requirement that I have to go get Bombos. I'm going to go do all these other dungeons while I'm constantly thinking about what I might have forgotten.
Yeah.
Without realizing that I had forgotten the back room of Blaine's hut.
I should probably practice fake flippers because I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah. There's some kind of setup off of the bush at the south end of Lake Hylia, but I've never yet gotten it, so I just try and go back and forth until I get it.
Yeah, the major issue for me was the Ocarina and Bombos.
Yeah, those held me up to until Ocarina was in, I think, Palace of Darkness.
Yeah.
And Samaria was in Tower of Hera, and then Bombos was in the Ice Palace, so we had to actually go all 3 dungeons. I even went down and beat Cold Stare without realizing that you can't actually open your item menu after you beat him, so I had to pick the Pendant of Shame.
I actually did not finish him because in Ice Palace I found the last item I needed. It was Bombos, so I could basically go on a run then. Yeah,
after I went through and beat Cold Stare first, and then went back through the Ice Palace a second time to get a chest I missed. And that's when I found Bombos. As soon as I found that, I figured, okay, I'm not going to find the flippers in here. So I mirrored out. But
the flippers are never going to be in Ice Palace.
Because it's glitchless. So I knew they couldn't be there, but I knew that Bombos probably would be.
Oh yeah, you can't finish Swamp Palace, of course, without the flippers.
Yeah, I even went into Ice Palace or Swamp Palace and jumped straight into the water, and then realized, oh, I don't have the flippers.
I had a really weird routing today. It eventually paid off a little bit, but it was terrible.
I had very unusual routing too.
I mean, I could go into Thieves Town, get those chests, but I came there from the bottom instead of up, because as soon as I found the hammer, I actually checked those caves I could check in the Dark World, and it was really awkward. I was like, oh, this is awkward.
That's right. You guys found the gloves and the hammer and the Moon Pearl very, very early.
Yeah.
And Vonkie went immediately, I can get Hype Cave. And he went, and it was the least hype Cave.
It was the Disappointment Cave.
Yep. Especially when you guys were... That was when you guys were in a crunch for items. That was when King Zora had the hookshot, and that was the key to getting everything else.
Yeah, and when I only got that hookshot at 45 minutes in as the last possible item, I could have checked the time, except where the slippers actually were. I figured I had lost and Vonkie was going to get like a 130 or something, but...
Oh, hell no, I missed
the
those
seed
2
continued
items.
to troll us for the next hour.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, Vonkie went to get the hookshot a lot earlier than you did, but it was probably because he had the flippers, so you can check the ledge item while you're there, so it's a lot more appealing when you have the flippers. So I knew right away, like, the forgotten flippers from the get-go were bleeding you time, let alone just being a completely impassable hurdle.
Well, on the bright side,
I could have gotten away with it if Swamp Palace had been a pendant dungeon, but it was not.
Yeah. Well, at least I got 1 pendant to check Sarsaparilla, but
yeah, you both went and checked Sahasrara, almost in sync, actually, if I recall. You were quite close at that time.
But he only had like a red rupee, I think.
Yeah.
Something.
One even, I think. I don't know.
Something bad.
Yeah.
So the specters of past races came back to haunt you guys in particular ways. Vonkie fought his off CodeLizard fell prey to it again. My goodness.
I
Normally-
will endeavor to make sure there is not a third time.
Right. Like normally I say like, well, now you'll never forget that for next time is what I tell people. And that's not true. That's not
Yeah.
true. Sometimes it takes more than that to really hammer that in. So best of luck in your future
thanks.
randomizers.
It was actually an interesting seed. I enjoyed doing it. I got a little bit frightened when I could not find those last two items. Like I was like, uh-oh. But I had
Yeah.
no idea you could not find the flippers.
Yeah, if I had, I probably would have had a much better time. But that one little mistake cost me everything, basically.
So
It really did.
Yeah, you still had to do what dungeons then?
I only had to do the Swamp Palace because I fake flippered into the Ice Palace to get Bombos.
of course.
So I did Misery Mire and Turtle Rock while trying to think of what I had forgotten.
That's exactly what I guessed. I was like, he's doing these dungeons and he knows he can't find the flippers. He's just buying time doing something while he tries to figure out what happened.
Yeah. Fortunately, the very first chest at Misery Mire had the big key. The first one I checked anyway. So I was able to just go straight to Vitreous. And Turtle Rock, I had to go back because I skipped the chest where the big key normally is, and then that turned out to have a necessary small key.
Wait, what? Where is the big key then? Because I never got the chest in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle of the pipe room, there was a small key there.
I never got that. I went.
Like the pokey in the room right before it.
There was a key actually. If you went one room south of where the key door is to the boss, there was a key.
Yeah, in the,
I got mine from there because I was like scared that I missed one, and I was like, "Oh, please let it be there, please let it be there," and it was.
Yeah, the eye laser. There's usually a key in one of those 4 chests. If not, then it's probably in the big chest. If you didn't get it.
Yeah, I had that once. It wasn't in the big chest. It was in the cave left from start once. I just totally didn't know there was a chest there. That's my first race.
Yeah.
All right. That was it's kind of hard to watch a little bit. That such a small, stupid mistake to decide the whole thing. Kind of sucks.
Yeah. It would have probably been a sub 2 time if I had gotten those throughs way back at the beginning. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
no
but I
idea
liked
what
you
my
guys.
time
I liked your movement. I liked your thinking on your feet, handling a tough seed, like you said, pendant dungeons unrequired by the Master Sword, but required by items.
Yeah.
Very tricky to deal with. You guys got 1 match left each to play in this tournament, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. Well, I think your odds of getting out of this group stage pretty slim. Mike the viewer's kind of a beast. Ninny's
I
pretty
have
good as well.
No idea who my last opponent is. So.
Well, thank you so much for your interviews.
I am gonna check
congratulations
who my last opponent is.
on dealing with this mess that we've given you.
My last
And,
race is currently scheduled for Monday afternoon, I believe. Monday evening.
I think I've got to fight Nini still.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Nini's, yeah. To be
Alright.
honest, I don't care of getting out of the group stage. I had fun, and it's been a lot of fun playing this, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely eliminated by now with this forfeit, so I will probably just go full YOLO in the race against Jedab and see if I can pull something ridiculous.
Yeah, what's with the point system, actually? I have no idea what they mean with the point system.
I believe you get 1 point for every 10th of a second in your time,
Right. So
which
I
means that my
forfeited
forfeit
one.
is going to give me like 50,000 points or something.
Oh, yeah, I've got 75,000 points as well because I forfeited the first race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
this is it's a golf rules situation. More points
Right.
is bad. You want lower. All right, well, we got to clear out of here. We got Mega Man coming up next. So thank you two very much for joining me. on
You're
this
Yeah,
welcome.
you're
interview.
welcome. Thanks for the restream.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
So I said it. Maybe you caught it. It's Mega Man. It's coming up. 3 minutes. I'm gonna say Feasel has 3 minutes to set this up, and we are gonna have commentary. Nice, because I could use a drink. My voice is getting a little... Anyway, Mega Man 3 coming up. Let me tell you about it. Because Mega Man 3 has been going on for a little bit. It's getting into some advanced stages of the tournament. And one more slot waiting in top 8. Who's going to make it to quarterfinals? We're going to find out in just a couple minutes. It's going to be MKank versus Almond City. Stay tuned to Speed Gaming 2 to find out. I'm Mythical9, and today we had CodeLizard versus Vonkie. Great race. Link to the Past Randomizer happening all day on Speed Gaming 1, Speed Gaming main channel. And then after Mega Man, all day, Link to the Past Randomizer. But for now, Mega Man 3. Stay tuned. Bye.